everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Fallout 76. As with all my discussion videos, this is going to be kind of an ADHD rant as I go through Fallout 76. That means we're going to be going topic to topic, and I'll just be giving you my thoughts on this game. Why am I doing it like this? Because there's a lot to talk about with Fallout 76, and I don't really know how to make a video on it. There's just a lot of things I want to say about the game, and the best way to do it is to just make one long video where I kind of just go on and on about Fallout 76 until I run out of steam. This isn't me saying, leave a comment because I want to get more interaction. This is me saying, look, if there's a topic I went on, but I kind of went off it, just go ahead and leave a comment. I'll get to any comments and talk about it. So let's talk about Fallout 76. Okay, I've been playing this game in the last week, and I've actually been very much enjoying this game. For one of the first times in very many years, I've been playing a game off stream for no other reason than I actually enjoy it. I've actually been playing it in my own time, in my free time, because I want to play it. And it's weird because this game is not I'm not calling this game a 10 out of 10 or even a 9 out of 10, but it's an oddly entertaining game. Why am I playing Fallout 76 then? Well, as most people, I saw the Fallout TV show and I said, boy, I want to play some Fallout. Fallout 76 was $8 and I hadn't played it, and word of mouth had told me that the game had dramatically improved. However, when I thought about playing it, I remembered all those YouTube videos talking about how terrible it was and how terrible it still was. Unfortunately, I forgot to remember my golden rule. What is my golden rule? The financial incentive to be terrible to Blizzard and their products has been terrible for discourse. What do I mean by that? And I word this a different time every time I say it. People are making hundreds of thousands of dollars shitting on Blizzard and exaggerating, lying, and fabricating reasons that their games are terrible and robbed them of their childhood and probably went back in time and beat them up. These people are making videos 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 20 hours long talking about how terrible Bethesda is, how making mages slightly underpowered literally ruined his childhood in Skyrim. The problem is, and I noticed this while playing Fallout 76, is when I decided to play it myself, I thought about all these videos that I had watched on the game, and I noticed that all these videos just went through the early game content again and again and again. All I saw was the early game content, the early game content, the early game content. And all of them were talking about, oh, this game is still bad. Oh, these quests are still bad. Well, let me tell you people here. These people that are making these videos, I assure you, they know exactly what they're doing. When the game launched, it was in a very bad state. We can all agree on that, right? Afterwards, it was given to Bethesda's B team. Their B team decided to look at this game and decide, how can we make an actual game out of this game? Because this sucks. Now, I will agree. The release quests, they're still in the game. The release content, it's still in the game. Okay, and if you want to, you can deliberately go out of your way to only experience that content, to make a video on only that content, and you can go out of your way to guarantee that you have a bad time, that you don't enjoy the game, and you can make an 8-hour video ranting about how terrible Bethesda is now, and you can make some lies up about design documents and blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, you have a $10,000 video, launch it, you're set for a month, right? Okay. Me, I decided to actually play the game out and experience the game and enjoy the game. And I asked people, every time, you guys can go watch my stream on this, and every time I looked at content, I said, was this on release or was this new? And anytime it was interesting and anytime it was content that I was actually enjoying, it was new content. So let me tell you, what have they added to the game since it launched? Now, I didn't play it at launch, but I can tell you what they added to it. Mechanically, what are the differences? Ammo is significantly easier to find. You can basically get infinite ammo for any weapon that you want to use outside of fully automatic rifles, mind you. You can basically get unlimited ammo for any of your weapons. If you do use ammo for a fully automatic weapon, then you can go craft that ammo and you'll basically be there without too much issue. I assure you, ammo is basically not an issue anymore. Food and water no longer debuff your character, but instead buff your character very slightly if they're at full. Food and water are plentiful, and you can basically find them anywhere. If you do any sort of daily quest or anything like that, you'll be at full. Even before I was doing daily quests, I was floating 30 pounds of water and so much food I didn't even know what to do with it. Medical items seem to be in vast supply. I have 30 rat away that I don't even know what to do. I can take a cockroach hitting me once, give me 1 rat, and I can immediately use rat away. It's crazy because when I went back and I played Fallout 4 for a day, the loading screens are terrible, but when I played Fallout 4, I thought to myself, man, I need to conserve these rat aways. This game is so stingy with its supplies. If you play Fallout 76, it is unstingy. Is that a good thing? Yeah, actually, I would say it is a good thing, because a lot of the annoyances seemingly at the game at launch was that it was so stingy with its resources. It was basically trying to nickel and dime you into feeling annoyed with the game. I don't feel annoyed with the game anymore. So what do you then do in Fallout 76? Well, number one, let's be clear here, okay? I would say the most important thing that a lot of YouTubers are lying to you about is when you make a new character, it offers you two options. You can start your character at level 20, or you can start your character at level 2. Not level 1 for some reason, level 2. Here's what you should do. Start at level 20. The game tells you this is recommended. Start at level 20. The normal option is level 20. They have we recommend this option. Please do this option for level 20. Why should you start at level 20? Level 20 is when you can start actually enjoying the game and doing quests. Now, I went level 2 to level 19 and then hit level 20. And let me tell you, I still enjoyed the game for the most part. What is in the game baseline then? Let's not talk about the level 20 content for a second. What would I say is the game baseline? Well, of course, you run around and you pick up supplies and you break that junk down and you put it into your storage box. And for me, I've never run out of storage. Storage boxes seem to be around a lot. You can find them around a lot. So even if all you're doing, which is what I was doing, I was just running around the wasteland exploring stuff, right? Even if that's all you're doing, it's pretty not difficult to find storage boxes. Even if you don't find storage boxes, there's always these crafting benches in basically every town you can find. When you find a crafting bench, you can break down weapons and stuff, get the supplies out of the weapons. Now, here's what happens when you break down a weapon. Every time you break down a weapon, you can get potentially new schematics for that weapon. Some people think you need to buy them or go to the shop or do anything like that. No. Every time you break down a weapon, for example, a combat shotgun, every time I break down a combat shotgun into its parts, I have a chance to getting a new part for that unlocked for me to craft towards. So for example, I can break down 5 combat shotguns, all of them the same combat shotgun, none of them any unique or anything at all, and I have a chance I can get a long barrel, which none of them had. I can get an automatic receiver, which none of them had. So what do you do in the game? You find a weapon you like, and each weapon has a level attached to it. It can be a level, 1 weapon, a level 5 weapon, a level 10 weapon, a level 15 weapon. Every, tier you go up, it does a little bit more damage, okay? But you go out in the wasteland and I go, oh man, at level 5, I have the normal shotgun. Oh, at level 10, I unlocked the pump action. At level 15, oh, now they're dropping the double barrel shotgun. Oh, at level 20, now they're dropping the combat shotgun. And every time you reach a new level threshold, you want to get that newer, better weapon, and you want to unlock the parts for it. But here's the thing. Here's something that people don't talk about that much, is that what you can do is just find a higher level version of a double barrel, is just one example, and then you can continuously find more double barrel shotguns, and then you can break them down, and you can just find more and better parts for your double barrel shotgun. As enemies drop ammo, if I'm using a shotgun, enemies will drop shotgun ammo. Doesn't matter what enemy they are, they'll all drop shotgun ammo. A big difference here, certain enemies prefer to have certain weapons. So if I'm using a shotgun, I have noticed that enemies will often have shotguns, but not all enemies will have combat shotguns. Super mutants definitely won't. Some ghouls might, but it seems to be more rare. Raiders seem to have combat shotguns if I'm using a combat shotgun more often. So what am I doing level 1 to 19? I was just running around the wasteland going, I need to get a better shotgun. So I got the regular shotgun, broke a bunch of them down, crafted up a good one. Level 5 came, pump action, did that. I can't remember, you get the idea, right? Level 15 came, I hated the double barrel. And that's something about this game, not all weapons are created equal. Some of them are just not very good. The double barrel particularly I had no fun with, because I pew and then I had to reload. But this is where this video is going to start to get more interesting. Once I started to get closer to level 20, I had one complaint in particular about the enemies that started to go away. One complaint I has is at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, 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 blah. Level 1 to 19, all enemies are generally like the same, but repainted on each other. So for example, ghouls are slow and take 2 shotgun shots to kill. Super mutants are slow and take 2 shotgun shots to kill. They're basically the same enemies. But the closer and closer you get to level 20, and then definitely after level 20, enemies will start to differentiate each other. Ghouls before level 20 are very slow. They don't do that Fallout 4, ghoul frantic leap towards you thing. They just stumble forward and they get 2-shot. Enemies Scorched. Scorched are this game's like infected, but they're not exactly feral ghouls. They can still use guns. I'm going to call Scorched for the most part a feral ghouls with guns. Enemies Scorched will go from mostly using low tier weapons, pistols, stuff like that, to now they'll start being very quick. They'll start having better weapons, stuff like that. Super mutants at the higher levels, once you start getting level 20 to 25, definitely, super mutants start being significantly tankier. If you're watching this video and you saw the footage of me shooting the super mutants, I assure you, super mutants are kind of just tanky. Now, shotguns are also underpowered, and I'm gonna put that here because I know a lot of people who watch this video are gonna watch me gunning enemies and going, well, that doesn't seem very fun. He has to shoot them so much. If you honestly thought that and I read your mind, go ahead and leave a comment. Just say it. Just say I read your mind. Shotguns don't seem to be very good. Right before I played the game, or maybe a year before the play of the game, I don't know, shotguns got nerfed because of the high levels. Shotguns were too good. Shotguns aren't exactly unplayable. They're not terrible, right? And I'm not going to say, oh, I went into shotguns and enemies felt slightly too tanky. This ruined the game for me. No, I still had fun with the game. I made a couple mistakes with shotguns, mind you. Automatic shotguns are useless. Should they even be in the game? No, probably not. They should probably rip automatic shotguns out of the game. Why is that? Because you don't shoot faster with an automatic shotgun. It just lets you hold down the trigger. That doesn't really do anything because you can just click, 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 click. It buffers in the next attack anyway, so you can shoot just as fast as an automatic shotgun just by shooting. But the amount of damage you lose by going to an automatic shotgun is you lose like 20% of your damage. So in addition to super mutants being really tanky, then I was doing way less damage. In addition to enemies getting way tankier, I was doing way less damage. And it was starting to grate on me. And once I got my shotgun into that, once I made it a semi-auto again and gave it a good damage receiver, semi-auto good damage receiver, felt a lot better. Anyway, what is my point here? So at level 20, one of the main complaints I have was that enemies were just really dumb, couldn't really fight back against you. Once you start reading once I got to like level 25 and level 30, like Assaultrons were tanky, very high damage. The Sentry combat robots were very high damage. Protectrons were still throwaway. So even though all the enemies scaled to my level, you could definitely start noticing the difference. Some super mutants would have a Gatling gun. Could you stand out in the open and be shot at by Gatling guns? No. And I went with a tanky shotgun build. So if you look at my character being shot a lot, I assure you, I went with a tanky shotgun build. And these super mutants were still, if they had a minigun, I couldn't go out in the open and shoot them. I had to, turn the corner. I had to back away from them. I had to let their their minigun rev down and then go back out and, take them down. So these enemies, despite all level scaling to me, they started to get actual differences. This is something a lot of videos talking about this game fail to mention. They play the game for maybe 20 hours, level up from level 1 to 19, which, you should probably have done in under 20 hours, but okay, fine. And they make these videos and they say, I had no fun. All the enemies felt the same. Everything was dumb. This game is terrible, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. So enemy variety starts opening up way further after level 20. Weapon variety starts opening up after level 20. And what am I saying here? If you're going to play this game, I beg you, just play it at level 20. Like they literally give you the Bethesda recommendation, just play this game at level 20. And me and other people go, no, I'm going to experience level 2. No, you're being foolish is all I can say. You are being a foolish man. Just start at level 20. Okay. Anyway, so it opens up at level 20. NPCs in particular open up at level 20. Before level 20, you will see NPCs around the map, but you won't interact with them very much. At level 20, it starts opening up a lot of quest lines. You see, the B team for Bethesda realized, look, we're a Fallout game and we have no quest lines. What exactly are we doing with our lives? And what were they doing with their lives? I don't know. Because the B team, they weren't working on the game. The A team made the game and it sucked. The B team came in and said, yo, Fallout should probably have quest lines. And they have put in some quest lines. They put in the Brotherhood quest line. They put in a second Brotherhood quest line. They put in a Settler quest line. And they put in a Raider quest line. Now, I haven't played through them all. And you could probably maybe get 20, 30 hours out of the quest line. I'm just guesstimating off the top of my head. So this isn't like you're not going to get 100 hours out of these quest lines, right? So what then are you going to do? Well, you're probably going to play through these quest lines and at the very least have some enjoyment. You're not going to do the Brotherhood quest line and it's going to shove T60 power armor out the door at your feet. That's not going to happen. It's going to give you some legendaries. It's going to give you some supplies. It's going to give you a lot of XP as you complete through it. But I think for the most part, the main thing is that a lot of these quest lines had a lot of voiced characters. And I mean a lot of voiced character. Every character in this game is voiced. So you've quest lines that make you talk to people. You have dialogue. You can choose different dialogue options. At the top is generally the let's move on. The bottom is I want to back out of this dialogue. And everything in between is giving you more information about the world. And you can ask a lot of different people a lot more information about the world. Now, there's not going to be choices and consequences. There's some choices and some consequences, and you might change dialogue a little bit, but this is not obviously that big a deal. The game is played always online. And before I get further, let me talk about that, because I don't want to be super positive man here. I do have some complaints about the game. Obviously, being only online has hurt the game. Now, I'm far from the person to complain about a game engine, because I actually understand what game engines do, and game engines cannot being an old game engine can't just destroy a game, right? But the problem is with a Bethesda game, this game was obviously not meant to be played online. And having this giant open world online has ran into the same issue every one of these giant open worlds has when you play them online. It's kind of laggy. Every giant open world game like this gets kind of laggy. Every action you do is about, I'd say like half a second delayed. So if you shoot an enemy and they die, it takes about half a second for them to register it. So you'll see all the time me with my shotgun, I'll go bam, and then I'll go like, do I shoot them again? Bam, and then they're already dead by the time the second shot hits, but I didn't know that by the time I clicked it, right? So it's a little bit laggy, and the FPS issues are bad too. We're still working with Fallout 4 type stuff. We're still working with that engine. An engine can affect optimization and things like that, obviously. So the FPS is a little low. Is it diabolical? Is it killing the game? No. Is it a little bit lower than you'd hope? Yes. And it definitely seems that in the older zones, it's particularly worse. They do have some newer zones, which I'll get into later, but it gets a little bit better there. So I would say those are probably the two biggest flaws with the game. Being always online definitely impacts your ability to, because like a lot of these quests are meant to be played solo, which is very weird to me. Well, I shouldn't say weird to me. It's just, it feels like the company decided, or I should say at the very least, the B team decided, look, let's just give the Fallout fans what they want. They want storylines. They want quest lines. They want to talk to people. They want to figure out the lore of Fallout. They want to go into an underground enclave research lab and have these mutations and read things and have an evil artificial intelligence, in the background going, ha ha ha, I'm gonna kill you, right? Because you like that stuff, and of course we like that stuff, and that stuff sounds entertaining to play, and they just gave it to us, and I played through it, and I was like, oh cool, right? And that's kind of, I guess, what they want. And a big problem I have with these Bethesda YouTubers, a big problem I have with these people, is they talk about Bethesda, and they talk about how the fact that they put NPCs in the game is like admitting defeat, therefore it's a negative. Well, of course it's admitting defeat. Their product sucked on launch. So what did they do? They said, man, what do Fallout fans want? They want to craft weapons. They want to go out in the world, get supplies, go back, build up their base. And here's the thing too, I should mention this. I have not explored this very much, but although your bases can get overridden by other people, so like if you join a server and somebody on that server has a base where you made your base will be temporarily turned off. I will agree that that's kind of annoying. But the thing is, you can actually get the NPCs out in the world, because there are settlers, there are people out in the world right now. And you can talk to them, and you can invite some of them back to your base. I haven't experienced the system very much, but some people said there are companions. I can't confirm or deny that, okay? But I can say that someone did tell me that, and I don't know whether or not that's true. Maybe it's bad for me to be mentioning that, but there's a lot of things in this game that simply aren't true, and I feel lied to a lot, because every video I watched, every review I watched on Fallout 76 said this game's terrible, this game sucks, nothing's changed, it's all bad, blah 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 blah. And then I go and I play the game and I'm like, I kind of like breaking down weapons, and then I can craft new parts on my shotgun, and now my shotgun is a long barrel. And you can see in this video, by the way, shotguns in this game, you give that long barrel, they've got a pretty good range. It feels good. You get perk cards that tighten up the spread, and you're using this shotgun like it's an actual shotgun, a shotgun that isn't just a 3-foot range thing. You can see multiple times that I'm knocking people off from a pretty decent range, okay? And what am I trying to say? Once you get out here, and once you're past level 20, and once you're building up your base, what are you doing? What's your objective here? Well, you're continuing to find new weapons. You're continuing to find new things. You can find different weapons schematics. You can find different plans by going out in the world and exploring. If you don't want to do quest lines, or if you just want to continue to explore while you're going to quest lines, because that's one thing about the Brotherhood quest line. You start the game, you're level 20, the Brotherhood says, come join us. And they're going to send you across the wasteland. And they're going to go here, 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 here. And why are they doing that? They're doing that because they want you to go to the locations so that you can explore them, so that you can, look at the game and all its content. Because the game does have some content, and a lot of areas have been remade. The game did launch with some content, some content that's worth seeing. You will see some areas that have like funny scenarios or things happening. Like you can see an old forest ranger, I think it was a forest ranger base, and there's some events and some funny things you can do. The old content's not exactly wonderful, but the new content, definitely drags it together. And, it is still fun to go out into the world, and it is still fun to explore and find more combat shotguns to break down, to find better parts for my combat shotgun. I need screws all the time. All I need is screws. So whenever I find a desk fan or I find a typewriter, I grab that shit right up, and I go back and I disenchant it, and I get some screws, and I'm like, yeah, I got more screws, and now I can repair my armor because I actually have screws now. I put points into armor smithing because obviously you might have noticed I continuously run up and get gunned down a lot. Enemy damage seems to increase rather substantially, despite the fact I perked for damage reduction, despite the fact I took a lot of perks to take less damage, to modify my armor to take less damage. Boy, I still take a lot of damage there, eh? And so, yeah, I think people generally like to go into the wasteland, and they generally like to find this stuff. When that's all the game had, when that's all it had going for it, obviously it was not a good thing, and people didn't enjoy that. The game did not launch with a lot of content. But once you give me Brotherhood, once you give me Settlers, once you give me some mini quests and stuff like that to do, yes, people like the game more. So start the game at level 20 and just do those quests. You will, at some point, you will have to do the starting quest line. You will have to actually do that stuff. I assure you, it's much easier to stomach that once it's not the only thing you are doing. Once they're not bait and switching you like 7 times in a row, being like, oh man, go find these guys. Oh no, they're dead. Go find these guys. Oh no, they're dead. Oh no, everyone is dead. You're the only people in the game world. Once that's not the only quest line, I assure you the game is going to be a lot better. Once you're talking to people, once you have conversations, once you have character drama occurring, the game is a lot more enjoyable because it's splitting up the going out into the world and searching stuff. Because if that's all I'm doing, and I'm doing that for 8 to 10 hours, it's not going to be very fun. But, to give you an example here, I was trying to find power armor. Why was I trying to find power armor? Because of what I was just mentioning. I'm getting gunned down like a tramp, okay? I'm getting gunned down with this stupid shotgun, and I need to go get power armor. What are the disadvantages of power armor? Your VATS is pretty weak. Do I use VATS? There will probably be no footage of me using VATS. VATS on shotgun is pretty pointless. On assault rifle, VATS can be quite good, because when you perk for it, and you can have 95% accuracy on an assault rifle, and you just laser beeline people at mid-range, right? That's pretty good. VATS on a shotgun, I think I can hit center mass on a shotgun. I think I'm capable of that, okay? You guys will see video of me not being capable of that. I assure you I'm great at FPS games. Every miss is because of lag. I assure you, I would have hit everything perfectly otherwise. But either rate, what are the disadvantages of power armor? VATS. Supposedly it takes way more to use VATS in power armor. You also need fusion cores. I have not personally gone and done it, but apparently there are somewhat easy ways to recharge your fusion core. So I'll look into that later. There's a lot in this game I haven't looked into. I am 28 hours into the game. I'm not making a review where I just played for 5 hours and I'm like, oh, I'm having fun. Here's my 5-hour review. What I'm saying is I've played 28 hours. I'll probably play a lot more. And I just wanted to talk about this game because I just feel like it's got so many things that are good. I would say in its current state, the game is pretty much a solid 8 out of 10. So let's continue then. What are more things that have added to this game that nobody really talks about? Expeditions. Now, expeditions are newer and they are very high level. I'll put some expedition footage in here. If you see me shooting humans or shooting plant people, those are expeditions. If I'm good at editing, I'll put the plant people into this video right now. So the problem with expeditions is they're for higher level. Therefore, once you've min-maxed a little bit more than I have, enemies are way tankier than they should be. Enemies are way more damaging than they should be. And the boss enemies seem to rely on you either having a team shooting them of like 4 people, you and your friends shooting up the boss enemies, or alternatively, you having a min-maxed giga headshot weapon that can chew through their HP. I blew through like 200 shotgun shells and a very like 5 to 10 minutes shooting the boss enemies, and I realized I don't think I can do this. In the plant expedition, the enemy healed to full like every 5 seconds, and I couldn't kill him in under 5 seconds. So oops, I guess I couldn't do it. So what are expeditions? These were added recently, and this is you going on an expedition. It seems to be, at the very least from the little bit I've experienced, I can't experience much more, that they've created, it's like a super dungeon. I think that's the best way I have to put it. It's like a super dungeon. You have some dialogue, you have some people, you have some unique enemies of that area, and you go and you shoot them down and you get new quests, and then you go around there. Enemies seem to drop mostly ammo. They don't seem to drop much weapons. There is some stuff to loot on the map, but the main thing seems to be you and 4 friends. I don't have friends, so it was me. You go out there and you have this fun mission where you guys go pew pew and you shoot a bunch of enemies and they drop a crap load of ammo, and you do objectives and you get XP and you get rewards, and it's fun, right? And they have unique tile sets. So right now they have the Pit and Atlanta. Now Atlanta's pretty cool. As you, again, hopefully if I remember, I'll put Atlanta here. If you see like a green area that's like an overrun city, that's Atlanta. And that area is cool because you get some objectives, you get to talk to some people, you get some unique enemies. They actually have some unique attributes to them. The floaty people heal guys around them. The bigger dudes have guns, they sit in the back. The really fast people try to hit you. They have a unique rocket launcher that's like really weak and just seems to be terrible. And I'm not really, because they have like a unique rocket launcher, but it just does like 1/10 of the damage of a normal rocket launcher. So I'm not really sure what's up with that, right? But Atlanta's cool, right? Because there's unique enemies, unique dialogues, unique objectives. The Pit, once again, they're raiders, but they're raiders. Sometimes they have power armor. They have lots of different types of raiders. Some use explosives, some use... They seem to kind of be like a Caesar's Legion stand-in, except they also have power armor. I'm not really sure. They have unique voice lines, stuff like that. And that's cool, and that's just something to do. It's weird to me that this never really gets mentioned when people talk about Fallout 76, that like they added these 2 extra maps you can go to. Like, I'm gonna call them super dungeons. They added these 2 extra super dungeons you can go to. They added a lot of content on the map you can do. They added quest lines. They added all this different stuff you could go to, and nobody seems to talk about this. The game isn't just Fallout 4 Wandering but better anymore, because I mean it is Fallout 4 Wandering but better, because at the end of the day you wander around, you can find recipes, you can find plans. So I found the plan to make a combat rifle. I don't use combat rifles, but it's cool that I found the plans for them, right? If I found the plans for combat shotguns, that would have been great, because then I could craft a higher level combat shotgun. And as I mentioned, I saw one review video, and this is something that just really annoyed me. I saw one review video where he complained that I found a really good legendary early on and I never wanted to replace it. Grr, this game sucks. Okay. Every 5 levels, your weapons upgrade slightly. So level 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. Presumably at level 50, they cap out. But if you find a legendary early on, good. Great, good for you. And I'm sure it's very cool that you found that early game legendary, but you will eventually have to replace it. Now, the odds of you finding high-end legendaries is probably pretty low. The odds of you finding a high-end legendary that's perfect for you is probably pretty low. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't really intend to play this game for the late game grind. In these sort of live service content games, where they need to keep people playing the game for months and months as they're taking time to add new content, yes, they're obviously going to add super long grinds. So you can grind for 3 months before the next expansion comes out, right? They need to keep people in the game. They need to keep on the subscription service, which you don't have to pay for. And no footage here is me using the subscription service. Not one. Absolutely nothing. I paid the $8 for this game, not a dime more. Nothing. Absolutely zilch. Where am I going with this? Okay. All I'm saying is that you will have to upgrade your weapon. You will have to craft higher weapons, and it is fun to find more parts for your weapons. So I have the long barrel, but I can find the true long barrel, and I currently have, I think, like 15 or 20 out of like 64 combat shotgun parts. I'm sure there's better parts, right? And I can make a better combat shotgun. But ooh, here's the thing. Once I find all these combat shotguns and I break them down, there might be the military shotgun, and then there'll be, I don't know, the lightning shotgun and the plasma shotgun and the blah, 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 blah. And that's what's fun about the game. That's what's interesting about the game. It's a subtle fun. It's an interesting fun. You're just going around the map and you're just exploring while doing a quest. What I did is typically what I do when I play Bethesda games is I try not to fast travel. Now, for those of you wondering, when you go to fast travel, you can either fast travel for free to hubs. You can fast travel for free to the Brotherhood hub, to the Settler hub, or to the Raider hub. Those three are free. You can also fast travel for free to the expeditions, to the Pit, or to Atlanta. Okay, those are free. Other than that, you have to pay bottle caps. Depending on how far away you are, you have to pay bottle caps to go to a certain location. I tried to fast travel the least amount I could, so I could go through different towns, explore new stuff, maybe find some content, just try to experience a game, because every Bethesda game is kind of like that. There's not that much to do throughout the map, let's be real. Okay, there's some events you can do, and some of the events have some funny things that happen, but the events don't happen that often. Most of them are just wave spawns, which is fine. I mean, it's fun to shoot waves of enemies, right? But for the most part, you go into a new town, you pick a firefight with enemies, you pick up all their stuff, you pick up all their combat shotguns, and I'm going to continue to say combat shotguns because that's kind of the most fun weapon I had. Hated the double barrel, just hated the double barrel. The pump action just seems to be the combat shotgun, but worse. So, for the most part, I'm just using combat shotgun. There are some better shotguns in the game, and I will likely have to move on to them, and that doesn't annoy me because I want to get a better shotgun. Why? Because enemies are kind of getting spongy. I need an upgrade. I either need better parts or a better shotgun or, something. And I'm not saying I hate the combat right now, but I'm saying I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finding the military shotgun or whatever it'll be. I didn't even bother to look it up because I'm trying to be surprised by it, right? The more you look up and the more you data mine about a game, the less exciting and interesting it's going to be. I don't even remember where I was going with this. So at any rate, you will have to upgrade your gun, and it's fun to upgrade your gun, because it is, at the end of the day, it's a looter shooter. Fundamentally, from the ground up, this is a looter shooter, okay? And I don't think you can ever complain. Can you ever complain about a looter shooter being a looter shooter? No, you can't complain about a looter shooter being a looter shooter because that's what you signed up for. Did you guys think Fallout 76 was not going to be a looter shooter? What were you exactly expecting? I'm telling you right now, do you enjoy looter shooters? Then you'll probably enjoy this game. So I went around and I tried to find pieces of power armor. I have 2 legendary pieces of power armor, but they're the Raider. It's a Raider power armor, left and right arm. I don't really like them because I don't really like the Raider aesthetic. I like the T60. What I really like is the advanced power armor, but that's probably a little bit above me. At any rate, where was I going with this one? There's stuff to do on the map, and you like going around the map, and you like upgrading your weapon, and that's the game, and I'm finding it oddly enjoyable. I'm finding it endearing. In fact, I like the voice acting. I like the locations. It's an aesthetic game. I like traversing around the map. I like exploring. That's fun to me. I like running around. And here's the thing, when you're running around this map and you're looking at these new areas and you're finding new stuff and you're finding new enemy types, some of them are a bit most of their enemy types are copied from the other Fallout games, but some of them are unique too. But, they obviously... Why are super mutants on this map? Well, Look, super mutants are on this map. There's actually a very justifiable reason, okay? Basically, everybody knows super mutants. They wanted to add them in the game, so they made some bullshit about super mutants being in the game. That's it. That's about as deep as it is. But, that's about as deep as it has to be. Because it is, at the end of the day, it is a video game. And the B team, what did they need to do? They need enemies in the game. Why do they need enemies? Because you like shooting super mutants. Super mutants are tanky. Some super mutants get high in miniguns. Why do they get miniguns? I don't know. They just found them. They're just there. There was a Gatling laser gun or something I fought earlier, and I was tearing my ass apart. I was getting shredded to pieces, and I thought, boy, that's cool. I don't know. And that's what this game is. That's fundamentally what it is. Now we're talking about some other misconceptions that I think a lot of people have. Plans, stuff like that. Do you need to use the cash shop to get plans? No, you look around the map, and in towns you can just randomly find plans. Again, I have some plans. I just got a plan to metal chest pieces, so I can craft up a metal chest piece. Things you find around the map. Do you get too much of them? For the most part, yes, but on some things, no. For example, screws are very limited. Cloth, I'll find unlimited cloth. Steel, pretty much got unlimited steel. I disenchant every weapon I find. I know you call it like breakdown or salvage. I'm going to call it called disenchant because that's just funnier to me. So you disenchant every weapon you have, break that down into scrap, store your scrap. Do I need an extra chest for my scrap? No, I don't think so. And I don't really, like, I literally have not had any reason to you know, buy storage or anything like that. I seem to just be totally fine on storage. Maybe later in the late game I will, but for now I haven't put a goddamn cent into this game other than the $8 I bought it for, and I just seem to be doing absolutely fine. Fast travel, does it use too many caps? No, in fact, it might not use enough, especially because I can fast travel to the Brotherhood, then fast travel to another location to shorten the distance. By the time basically there's no place I can fast travel that I'm not going to make the money back or more from the location itself to fast travel to there. Now there is then incentive to not fast travel, and you can explore the world, and you can explore the different characters and stuff like that. Is there that much out in the world to explore? No, not really. Basically the quest hubs seem to be the only quests. You're not going to be running around and you're going to find Hillbilly Timmy, and Timmy goes, oh, I got a quest for you. No, you're not going to find that. It's unfortunately, they don't have that kind of Fallout, that kind of Bethesda questing in the game. They might eventually, but they're probably not going for that kind of thing. What you can find is settlers, and you can't ask settlers to go back to your base. There will be settlers, and they'll be on the map, and you know, they'll be saying things like, this looks like a good job for our base, or the good location for a base, and they're looking at a sheet. So it does make the world feel kind of lived in, but yeah, that's about the limit of what you're going to be seeing out in the world. And that you do quest hubs. I'm sure you're going to run out of quests eventually, at which point you start grinding the late game content. I probably would not recommend grinding the late game content. Like once you get to level 50 or level 100, and you know, once you're grinding out trying to get your perfect legendary shotgun, I would probably recommend you know, if you enjoy it, that's great, more power to you. If you don't enjoy it, well, you know, do what you want. I would also recommend finding friends or something like that. I definitely think I would be enjoying this game more if I had some friends to do expeditions with, and we could double or triple our firepower. Other than that, I played it all solo, so you don't need friends. There are some areas that were pretty difficult. There's one area that spawned 3 legendary super mutants, and one of them had a minigun, and I swear that dude was just ripping my ass into 3 pieces every single time I turned the corner on him. And eventually some randoms happened to just be in the area, because you're always online, so you are in a server. Some randoms happened to be in the area, and we 3-manned the 3 legendaries. We actually beat them, so that was kind of fun. Would it be that fun to co-op all the time? Maybe not. I mean, if you were just out there in the world, there doesn't seem to be any like duo or trio scaling, if you want to call it that, right? So if you're like 3 people, yeah, you're gonna destroy all the content. Private servers, you do need to pay to play on a private server, but other players, they don't mess with you. I've literally never been messed with by another player. In fact, if anything, they seem to just ignore your existence. You know, power armor. Do you need to grind for power armor? Not really. I mean, to get the super good mega ultra super power armor, yeah, maybe a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest, if you pull like a Daisy, the thing I was doing, it worked somewhat for me. It didn't work that great, so it'd probably take a couple hours. But there's an area with 3 potential spawns for T60 armor. You load into a server, check it, load into another server, check it, reset, go into another server, check it, reset, go to. If you do that enough, that's how people recommend you can get like T60 and stuff like that. You can also, there's some events that give you plans, you can craft it. You have to keep it repaired too, mind you need to keep your gear repaired. It will break down. You can perk there. Perk system seems to be decently fun. Each time you level up, you put a point to strength, endurance, agility, etc. And then, you know, if I have 10 strength, I can have 10 strength perks. Some cards are obviously better. I put almost all my strength perks into shotgunning. This allows me to carry a lot and do a lot of unarmed damage, which I will never use. Put a lot of points into intelligence to let me craft up better gear. I would always recommend putting points into intelligence, by the way, so you can craft better weapons, because I'm gonna be honest, why would you be playing Fallout without crafting better weapons? Why would you even be participating in this game? This seems like a waste of your time, my time, everyone's time. Why would you possibly do that? Like, it would be playing like Path of Exile and you're like, no thank you, I don't want gem slots in my gear. Like, why are you here then, right? Play a Diablo game and be like, no thank you, I will use all white items, rares are for chumps, right? Like, okay. How do I end this video then? Fallout 4, is this Fallout 4? This is Fallout 4 online, but way better, I guess is the right way to put it. Man, I would say I just liked it. I would say I just liked this game. I just liked playing through it. And I think if you're willing to play, if you're willing to try an 8 out of 10 game, I would say it's an 8 or 7 out of 10 game right now. I would probably call it 8 out of 10. Look over some flaws in the game, and you just want a looter shooter where you just have fun running around the Fallout lore, shooting enemies. Start at level 20, you'll get some mid difficulty enemies. I assure you, you'll die every so often, but it won't be that bad, right? The game's still like, I would say it's still like a mid difficulty shooter, which is to say that if you're good at shooters, you're probably not gonna have an issue. If you're using quick scope snipers, you're probably not gonna have an issue. If you're actually using assault rifles, you won't have an issue. If you're using pistols or shotguns, you might run into a little bit of a problem, right? If you're trying to do melee or unarmed builds, you might have some problems, but that's every game. There's gonna be some weapons that are better and some weapons that aren't better, but none of the game's never gonna be so hard that you can't beat it. And some difficulty spikes are obviously fun, but again, at the end of the day, you're out here, you're playing a looter shooter and you're having fun with it. And that's what I would say Fallout 76 is. So if that seems like a sort of thing you would enjoy, then go ahead and play this game. And if that doesn't seem like a thing you would enjoy, then just don't play this game. But I guess my point is, look, if you bought the game for $8 on that Steam sale, or you got it for free on Amazon Prime, just try the game. Just try it out. Just go through the Brotherhood questline and just run around town to town. Find a weapon you like, perk up. And I would recommend putting perks into the gun nut so you can properly modify your weapon, right? But, just do that. Just disenchant your weapons. Go, oh my god, I can get a long-barreled shotgun. Now my shotgun can actually shoot people at a good range. Ooh, I can get a receiver on my assault rifle that increases its damage. Now it goes boom, 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 boom. You can find plans for your base. Ooh, now I found the plans for I don't even know, cooler metal walls. I keep finding plans, but I don't really build up my base, so they don't do anything for me. If you just want to explore around the map and you want to find different things you can wear, obviously you can find the best cosmetics are going to be paid for, but I've been traversing the map. I found ranger armor, military armor, brotherhood armor. I found a clown suit. I probably should have picked up the clown suit if you want me to be real. So I've definitely found cosmetics. I found a 3-piece suit, stuff like that. Have I found unique, cool, super awesome stuff? No, I obviously haven't found that. I imagine most of that stuff is on the paid cash shop. Oh well, such is the future these days. That's why, despite enjoying this game, I'm gonna call it like a 7 or 8 out of 10 because at the end of the day, it is an always online Fallout game, but I would say that they do not make you pay, and you will enjoy this game. So that's my review for this game. This has all been a review video in secret. My review for this game, 8 or 7 out of 10, pretty good game. Probably don't have like 200 hours of content on it, but if you really enjoy the game, then more power to you. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying if you want to play this game as a looter shooter, you want to just run around the map and have fun with it, more power to you. Just do that. And that's this video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.